Are you looking into invisible type dog fencing for your dog? There's some things you need to consider. Hey folks, it's Adam with Outdoor Pet Solutions. If you're researching invisible type dog fencing to help keep your dog on your property, it doesn't take long for you to realize there's a lot of different options out there to choose from. Whether you're going to purchase a product and install it yourself or hire an outside company to do it for you, as well as the different types of technologies that are available. Whether it's GPS, wireless, or in-ground dog fencing, check out this video I put together that breaks down the different technologies and also lists the pros and cons of each. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about what else you should be considering before investing in this type of dog fencing. Along with the various options that you've found online, you've probably come across some controversial topics such as whether or not these types of fences are humane. A lot of folks are under the impression they're cruel. I've been in the business for over 20 years, so obviously not everyone shares that opinion. However, it is a valid one. And the reason I agree with those claims, because they're not fully understanding that it's not the product that is inhumane, it's the use of the product that makes it inhumane. The reason this type of fencing tends to get a bad rep from time to time is because folks are left to their own devices to train the dog appropriately. This is where whether it's humane or inhumane comes into play. The proper use of the product is crucial in keeping your dog happy to be out in the yard while respecting their boundaries. Many folks think that they're going to go on eBay, Amazon, or go up to the local pet store and purchase a dog fence system that they can set up themselves, and they're going to put the collar on the dog and let them go out in the yard, and they're going to figure it out on their own. This is a common approach that people take with this type of dog fencing, and obviously it's the incorrect approach. Your dog is not going to understand what to do out in the yard, where they can go, where they can't go, and as a result, they're going to get very confused, stressed out. It's going to lead to them not wanting to be out in the yard at all, which is totally counterintuitive to what you're trying to achieve. If you're looking to invest in a fencing product to help keep your dog on your property, your goal should be for them to get to a point where they're enjoying the yard. But in order to get there, they have to maintain that happiness and enjoyment while being outside throughout the training process. And slapping the collar on the dog and letting them go figure it out on their own is the worst possible approach that you can take. This type of fencing has been around for a very long time, since the mid-1970s. And where I feel the industry has failed these customers is they put very limited information in these kits, educating them on how to properly train their dogs to the fence system. They give you some basic bullet points, and it's much of a Cliff Note type approach to this training. The training program that I wrote is the Gentle Approach training program, and it relies heavily on positive reinforcement to teach your dog their new boundaries. The positive reinforcement and the use of just the audible tone that the collar makes is very effective. So effective in which I had a customer reach out to me a year after I installed this system for them, and they were claiming that their dog was all of a sudden leaving the property and they didn't understand why. So I jumped in the van and took off down there to find out what was going on. And to my surprise, the customer for a year's time never took the collar out of training mode. What this means is the dog was simply staying in the yard with the use of the audible tone and the conditioning of the positive reinforcement. And for a year's time, this dog just stayed in the yard. That's how effective the positive reinforcement and the use of the audible tone is without the correction of the collar. So the first takeaway from this video you need to understand is it's all about the training that's going to keep your dog in the yard, not the correction of the collar. And the correction I'm referring to is what a lot of folks call a shock. All of the systems on the market deliver some sort of sensation to get your dog's attention. But the sensation is what everyone gets focused on as to what is going to keep my dog in the yard. I get the common question all the time where folks ask me, "Hey Adam, will your system be strong enough for my dog?" And my response is always the same. There is not a fence system on the market strong enough to keep any dog in the yard. Any dog can get through an invisible dog fence if they're not properly trained. It's the training that keeps them in and not the correction. So what is the correction for? The correction is to get your dog's attention off of whatever distraction there is outside of their boundary. A lot of times a passerby walking their dog or jogging or the neighbors working out in the yard will distract your dog to a point they might deviate from the audible tone and run through the fence. So to prevent that from happening, there's a physical sensation that's going to be delivered by the collar to get your dog's attention off of that distraction and force them to revert back to their training that they were taught in the beginning. That's how this type of fencing comes together in resulting in keeping your dog in the yard. But that sensation that your dog experiences is also something you need to consider. So that's the second takeaway from the video. What type of sensation is the fence system you're looking at going to deliver to your dog? Is it a humane sensation or an inhumane sensation? And that's a topic that's widely discussed online. You shouldn't shock your dog to stay in the yard. And I totally agree. You should train your dog to stay in the yard. But I, just as well as everyone else, love my dog. And I would never want to put a collar on my dog that's going to cause anxiety and discomfort that would terrorize them out in the yard. That is the absolute opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish. So I set out to offer a fencing system that utilizes real training collars. What is a real training collar? It's the same type of collar that is used widely across the US and abroad by professional dog trainers such as canine units, tracking dogs, support dogs, you name it. They all use the same type of training collar. It's not a shock collar. Instead, the sensation that's delivered by the collar is more like a TENS unit that a chiropractor would use on your back. We refer to this type of sensation as blunt stimulus. The shock style collars, those are sharp stimulus, and that's what's widely used in most of these fencing products because it's a fast, effective way to startle your dog and result in them never leaving the property. However, it does lead to them not wanting to be out in the yard. So blunt stimulus is the preferred sensation when you are trying to teach your dog a behavior or a restriction. The blunt stimulus contracts muscles rather than delivering a localized, sharp, painful sensation. Although the blunt stimulus can be dialed up and can get the attention of the largest dogs, it has a wide range of stimulus so that you can fine-tune it for dogs of all types and sizes. Most of the inexpensive systems that you can purchase online or at the pet store will offer just 1 to 5 different stimulus settings. And they're delivering the sharp stimuli, and they can become very, very intense rapidly over those 1 to 5 settings. But the system that I offer and install for my customers, the OPS 1000, it offers a wide spectrum of stimulus of 30 different levels. And this is key in teaching your dog their new boundaries because the gentle approach training program that I teach paired with the wide range of correction levels eases your dog into understanding their new boundaries rather than giving them the shock and awe approach and startling them. So a proper training program paired with the right type of equipment is key in keeping your dog's happiness intact as well as keeping them contained. So if you're looking for the most humane package available and you want to install the fence system yourself, look no further than the OPS 1000. It comes complete with my detailed step-by-step installation guide as well as my complete gentle approach training program. To learn more about the fencing system and to order yours today, be sure to click the link down in the description. The pricing online does include ground shipping direct to you via UPS. And as always, thanks for watching. Goodbye.